Good morning, afternoon or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamas, back with my weekend review, episode 3, game week 7. Now, before we get into this video, my mum always told me, Jack, be humble in life, and this is reasons why. I was giving it large at the beginning of my last video because I had a good week. And this week I've been brought back down to life, so let's get straight into it. So we start with the first game that kicked off on Saturday at 12:30, which was Aston Villa at home to Brighton. Now, I did predict an Aston Villa win here. I didn't think it'd be as convincing as it was. Ollie Watkins opened his account last week with a goal against Chelsea, and he followed it on this week with a hat-trick. Now that is 4 goals in his last 2 games. I think with the England squad coming up, do you think he'll be in the England squad coming up? I think he should be, especially on form. But knowing Southgate, he likes to overlook players, so that's another matter, but we'll go into that. The only positive coming out of this game for Brighton is Ansu Fati scoring his first goal for the club. I predicted a 2-1 win here. It did finish 6-1, so I only got 1 point. We then moved to the Vitality Stadium, where we start with the first of 6 games to be kicked off at 3 PM on Saturday. Now, it was Bournemouth hosting Arsenal. Again, I did think this would be a tighter game than it was, but Arsenal really did make easy work of Bournemouth with a solid performance. Saka did get lucky from the first goal. Gabriel Jesus obviously has a header. Comes off the post, it lands right to Saka. He made it 1-0 before Odegaard scored the first of 2 penalties for Arsenal. It was a clear penalty, nothing to say there, just a great finish from Odegaard from the spot. They then gifted Havertz his first goal for the club with the second penalty of the game for Arsenal, which again was a clear penalty. They can't have any problems with that one. And then in the 93rd minute, Ben White made it 4-0. I predicted 2-0. It was 4-0. There's only 1 point here. So for me, again, one little statistic I'll give you though, which is a bit weird, is Ben White has scored 3 goals now for Arsenal, and 2 of those have come against Bournemouth. Next up, we go to Goodison Park, where Everton played Luton. Now, Everton, what can I say? Their last 10 games at home, obviously from last season leading into this season, they have a record of 2 wins, 1 draw, and 7 losses. Now, Goodison Park used to be a place where people didn't want to go. They were scared to go there and play there. Now it seems teams are going there and playing with no fear at all. I'm delighted Luton got their first win of the season there. Lockyer did make up for his mistake last week with a 1-0 goal to make it 1-0, against a run of play. Shortly after that, Morris scored Luton's second goal with a great finish in the box. But it's, from an Everton perspective, it's poor defending. I mean, how can you leave Luton's danger man unmarked at the back post like that for him to have the chance for the ball to come in, not for a header, but to volley it bottom corner to make it 2-0. Both came against a run of play, to be fair. 10 minutes after that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored to make it 2-1 going into the break. Second half was what we all thought it would be. You know, Luton sitting back, defending well, Everton pushing. Everton didn't really have too many chances though. Only Beto had 2 headers, which he put one wide and put one over. I predicted 2-1 to Everton in this one. It finished 2-1 to Luton. So for me, it's a 0 points. Next up, we have Manchester United at home to Crystal Palace. Now, Man United are in big trouble this season. Off topic, because I don't do Champions League, but they also lost last night in the Champions League at home to Galatasaray. But honestly, things are going from bad to worse for United. Now, I don't think it will be too long before the fans turn on Ten Hag and start asking for him to be gone. I mean, I do ask Man United fans, what is your opinion on this? Please let me know, because I would like to know if you're Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. And also, I want to know the problem, because I know all Man United fans keep saying it's the board, but I want to know about this current squad. You've got a good team there. You are playing well. You just can't score. Now, I want to know what you reckon the problems are with your club. That's just another thing to go off topic, but I just want to know. Regards to the game, United didn't play bad, having 77% of the possession, having double the chances that Palace had. I mean, Anderson, what a strike from a centre-back. I mean, he could hit that, no disrespect, he could hit that 100 times again, and he probably wouldn't score it again, the way he had to adjust his body, and he hits that top bins. Palace did what Palace do. They got the result. 1-0 is a great result for them away to Man United. I predicted a tough game at 2-0 for Man United. This finished 1-0 to Palace, so again, I got 0 points. Following on from that, we then go to Newcastle at home to Burnley. Now, Newcastle didn't start the season very well. They lost 3 of their first 4 games, but since then they've now gone on a run of 5. They're unbeaten in their last 5 games, 4 wins and 1 draw in all competitions. Again, off topic, but it's going to be a very, very interesting game today. Them at home to PSG. I'll definitely be tuning into that one. In regards to this game, Ramsey for Burnley obviously is just too relaxed on the ball. He loses out. Trippier wins the ball. It ricochets to Almiron. Almiron takes a few touches and then he does what he always does. He does that curling left foot strike from outside the box. Top bins. No goalkeeper saving that. Leading on from that, Isaac then missed an open goal, which was a harder chance than it looked, to be fair. But he did make up for it later on, converting the penalty, making them go 2-0 up. I did predict a 2-goal deficit in this game, but I thought Burnley would score and I thought Newcastle would score more, so I went for a 3-1. It ended up being 2-0, so I only get the 1 point here. Also at 3 p.m, we had West Ham at home to Sheffield United. Now, Sheffield United did come off a heavy defeat last weekend, but they played much better in this one, and on another day they could have scored 2 or 3 goals themselves in an even game against West Ham. But West Ham were the season team, and that showed with Corfowl setting up Bowen for his 5th goal of the season. Another player that I think that Southgate is overlooking. That's another story. And then they killed off the game with Souček scoring and making it 2-0 just before half time. Second half was a bit boring, not going to lie. No one really had any clear-cut chances. I did predict a 2-0 victory for West Ham. It was 2-0, so finally I got my first 3 points of the week here. But what I also did predict was James Ward-Prowse to score a free kick. He didn't, but it's coming because I trust my boy. I trust my boy James Ward-Prowse to break David Beckham's record. Last 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday saw Wolves hosting Man City. Now, no one gave Wolves a chance here, including myself. But Neto had other ideas after picking the ball up in midfield. He sprints past Foden and Aki, leaving them both for dead before making it into the penalty area, crossing the ball, and it deflects off Diaz to make it 1-0 to Wolves. Going into the second half, Alvarez scores a brilliant free kick just before the hour mark to make it 1-1, and then you think there's only going to be one winner from there. But Hwang had different ideas, and he scored to make it 2-1 to Wolves, and they ended Man City's 100% record this season. It's crazy to think that they had 3 shots on target. The Wolves won 3 shots, in the game, only 1 on target, but ended up winning the game 2-1. Obviously, own goals don't count as a shot on target. I predicted a 3-1 win for Man City here. I was completely wrong. Wolves won 2-1, and it's ended me with 0 points. We move on to the big talking point of this weekend. 5:30 Saturday, Tottenham Hotspurs versus Liverpool. Now, I'm just going to throw out there before I say this. I'm a football fan, not a Liverpool fan, so this is not me being biased. This is me just giving my passionate opinion on it. This is the biggest robbery in England since the Hatton Garden heists. Now, Liverpool got bumped 3 times in the same game. It's a joke. Honestly, I hate VAR with a passion. Every week in the Premier League, something's wrong with VAR, but in this game, we had two muck-ups from VAR. The first, Curtis Jones wins the ball, and then he follows through to the foul. It's a yellow card all day long. People are saying it's 50-50. I don't even think it's 50-50. He wins the ball, and then he follows through over the ball because of his momentum. Now, there's nothing he can do after he wins the ball. You can't just stop yourself. We're not magicians. You can't just stop. You have to follow through. So therefore, it's not a red card. It's a yellow card, and then you keep 11-11 on the pitch, and then that's the end of that one. Then, to make matters worse, they slow it down for him when he goes and watches it on the screen. They start showing him stills of the tackle rather than him winning the ball, where it clearly looks like a red card. But when you watch the actual footage from start to finish in normal time, he wins the ball and then he follows through. There's a thing in life called momentum, guys. That's what happens. Anyway, sorry. Secondly, now, this is the worst VAR decision I think I've ever seen. I mean, Diaz is clearly onside. Clearly onside. And then there's a human error which makes them say that he was offside because the linesman puts his flag up. Now, VAR is killing the game. I'll tell you why. VAR is now making officials have a sense of security where they think they can put their flag up. If there was no VAR, the linesman does not put his flag up there. But because he thinks, okay, he may be offside, I'll put my flag up. And that is why this human error has now occurred. It's an absolute joke. I hate VAR with an absolute passion. I really, really do. Shearer hit the nail on the head on Match of the Day. He said that VAR, we always have problems with VAR, but the one thing we never have problems with is offsides. Now we are starting to see problems with offsides with VAR as well. Diaz is clearly onside. And now imagine at the end of the season, Liverpool lose the title by 1 point, and it was this game that could have cost them. What are they going to do? Give them another sorry, and that's it. This is not good enough. VAR and the officials in the Premier League are okay? I don't like to swear, sorry, because I like this to be for kids and adults. But VAR in the Premier League is absolutely I hate it with a passion. It needs to either be sorted out right now, or they need to just scrap it, because it doesn't help. Every week we are getting VAR decisions that are not correct, and they're meant to be there to help the game, but it's ruining the game. Please. And then another thing I want to say, this is the Premier League managers. Now, this is the only thing I didn't like about Jurgen Klopp on Saturday. And I'm Jurgen Klopp's #1 fan, by the way. I think he's a top manager. But after the game, he came out and he said, I don't want to say anything because I'm going to get fined. Balance. You're already rich as it is. If you don't say anything, these things are going to keep happening. Premier League managers, you need to stand up and you need to start talking. You need to start saying, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. Because when you sit back and say, oh no, I'm going to not say anything just because you're worried about your bank balance, you're already rich enough. Don't worry about a little fine, Jurgen. Please, next time, say it as it is. Say this is rubbish. We need to sort it out. Please. Oh, I hate VAR with passion. It's ruining the beautiful game. With that being said, the game was really good, actually. Liverpool, even with 9 men, held on. I mean, Joel Matip scores a late goal, own goal, with literally one of the last kicks of the game. Liverpool done really well. Spurs, I do like you this season, so it's not even an attack on Spurs. It's not an attack on Liverpool. It's not an attack on anything. It's an attack on VAR, because VAR is killing the game. Sorry. I could talk for about an hour about this. I'm getting a bit fear, but yeah. Anyway, the game finished 2-1 to Spurs. I predicted 3-2 to Liverpool. I got 0 points. Sorry about the rant, guys. I've calmed down. I took a minute, had a cup of tea, came back, and now I'm ready to carry on with the recap. Sorry about that. On Sunday, we moved into Nottingham Forest. The only game on Sunday was Nottingham Forest at home to Brentford. Now, the game was, the first half was just boring. No disrespect to either team, but it was very boring. But in the second half, this game did come to life. Wissa also should have had a penalty in this one, actually, where VAR didn't intervene, but I guess that's karma, because earlier in the season they got a penalty against Fulham, which was never a penalty. So I guess that's just karma for them. Obviously, Forest got a player sent off. From the resulting free kick, Norgard scores the header to make it 1-0, where Turner should really do better there, but you can't really blame him because he's doing well this season, but he could have done better there. And then later on, Dominguez scored an absolute, well, it was a great header. I don't know how he managed to loop it over the goalie, but he did, to make it 1-1. This game finished 1-1. I predicted 2-2, so I got the correct result, but not the correct score, so I got 1 point there. And the last game of game week 7 saw the West London derby. Now, don't really have much to say on the game. Mudryk scored his first goal for Chelsea. 31 seconds later, Brozier killed the game off with his goal after coming back for 11 months. They go 2-0 up in the 20th minute, and then after then, it stays 2-0. It was an absolute spineless performance from Fulham. Fulham's only good chance came in the last 10 minutes with Lukic, where he should do better, but he hit it right down Sanchez's throat. Not really much more to say about it. Chelsea got the result. Chelsea won 2-0. I predicted 2-1 to Fulham. This finished 2-0 to Chelsea. I got 0 points. Also, in my extra game this week, I predicted Bayern Munich to beat Leipzig 2-1 away from home. Now, Leipzig did take a 2-0 lead in this one. Bayern Munich did fight back to make it 2-2 in the second half. So even in my extra game this week, I was wrong there as well. Now, with all the games recapped, we go to my predictions. Now, this week, I scored 7 out of 30, which is not the best week. Like I said already, my mum always told me, Jack, be humble. And this is the reason why I'm now eating my humble pie, because I had a good week last week. I've now messed up this week. But from Friday, trust me guys, I'll be back better than ever, and I'll be back on Friday with my predictions just before the international break, and I'll be back to the high figures rather than these low figures I got this week, although this week there were some tricky games to predict. So thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you guys. I am on Instagram and TikTok, so please do like, follow, share and subscribe. And remember, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Unless you're in the Premier League, you can shoot, score, be onside, and it still don't count. Bye guys, thank you very much.